Hello, this is the Joseph Evaldi Podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Evaldi, and we have a special guest in the studio tonight.
It's me, folks. Curtis Bearheart from the Okonuff Network originally, but let's be honest. I'm involved with this network too.
Not the Bearheart.
No.
It's Curtis Bearheart.
It's Curtis Bearheart, folks. Sorry for the confusion. Life is confusing.
Yeah, I think that's something that Totem Wolf and Joe Baxter ran with, and they just ran with it.
Yeah, they're gonna keep running, those guys. That's what they do. So.
Okay. So, where we last left off.
This is Dark Side of the Move that's playing, by the way, folks. The Psychedelic Brunch.
Yeah.
Sharpen your teeth on that one.
Yeah. Where we last left off, we discussed some shows from the Joseph Evaldi Network. Now we're going to discuss the shows that you, Curtis Bearheart, and
Kurt's just fine. We're friends.
Kurt and
now Dr. Vector, there better be a doctor in front of that.
Also Ricky are involved. These are the podcasts that
my brother Ricky, yep.
You both signed a deal to.
Yes, we've signed a deal.
Yes, you signed a contract that states.
I signed it into a slice of Sicilian pizza.
Yes.
It looks all horrifying.
You will do a second season because you enjoyed the success of the first season.
Is that what got said? Is that what's written there? I find it hard to believe, but I did enjoy the success, but that I don't remember that being the auspices of signing the deal.
No, I don't know, but I don't know. They Joe Baxter, and Slow-Mo Joe and Totem Wolf, they tell me everything.
I'll have to remember that.
And sometimes I can't believe the horse from the gamut.
Loose lips think shit. That's what I was told.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, let's get to the R&D.
So what's the substance of this R&D?
We are going to be going over the Ricky and Wolfman show, Totem Wolf and Bearheart Podcast.
Thank God that came out right.
And also yesterday's news with Joe Baxter and Kurt.
Yes, me. That's the other show I'm doing.
Yes.
I'm only here as a guest, folks.
Yes.
We don't even know what this involves yet.
Only here on the guest, yes.
I have a home on this network, however.
That's your staple of everything that this network offers.
A small piece of metal that infiltrates. I kind of like that.
Yes.
So anyway.
Joe Baxter was back.
Yes. He's a professional man. His integrity like a granite slab. So anyway, what's the first article of the R&D?
We are going to be discussing the Ricky and Wolfman show.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I wish Ricky was in the studio right now so we could discuss the numbers with him.
I wish he was in the studio right now because he owes me $10, and I'd like to get a pizza, and not one that might give me the D word.
I'm still hungry for that pizza because it's like
that treacherous pizza.
That was my lunch. I mean now my stomach is empty and I'm like I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's what happens when you try to eat rotten pizza.
Walking around an empty stomach. I don't know. I'm just.
He's upset. I think some Joe Macho's coming out of him about that pizza, folks.
Yeah. He How's that? He's my alter ego.
Well, tell Joe Macho that you've learned your lesson, and from now on you'll read the expiration date before you leave the house and not after. That's a perfect lesson, see? Those are some numbers. Yeah, those are some numbers for you, right there.
Speaking of numbers, let's get the numbers of Ricky and Wolf.
This futuristic music is playing so that you understand that we're devotees of the process, and we are using advanced technology and...
The best episode of...
I mean, that was just a lie, everything I just said. But you know what I mean. It's actually not even futuristic music. It sounds like 1978.
Honestly, I got lost in the music and I wasn't even paying attention to what you were saying.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad that's so easy to happen. That'll make for a successful show. No one will ever be able to... You're right, Joe. You know, what was I thinking? This is great.
It wasn't you, it was the song.
No, it's a great song. I mean, think about it. You know, it's inspired you to go wandering off, you know. It's not for the lighthearted, as it were. Anyway.
Okay, where were the numbers? Episode 8, Season 2, Marty and Doc change time. Doc goes back, is disgust.
He's back and disgusted? Oh, it's disgust. Never mind. This is Chariots of the Gods.
Oh, yeah, I remember this episode.
We're playing Chariots of the Gods, folks. Peter Thompson Sound Orchestra.
Marty and Doc change time. Doc goes back. That must have been the episode where Doc gets struck by lightning and goes back into 1880s.
Oh yeah, that's right. Back to the Future. I heard you guys were doing that.
And I think Wolfman was telling me about that.
How were those numbers anyway? Because that movie was, that trilogy was big, you know?
That was the highest rated download of the season. That was 7.
Well, that says a lot.
Our highest plays was 6. You know, still many people haven't, the highest play of the season was the first episode. The second highest plays was part 3 of 4 of the Back to the Future analysis. So, you know, the worst episode was going over the beginning of Back to the Future 2. That was the worst in downloads.
That's very strange. These numbers are wild. They're difficult to track. I mean, I think we need a lot more data. We're going to have to keep doing this for years and years.
Yes, I agree. I mean, this is the first season numbers. We got to see how they compare to the second season. So, you know, it's like, we compare episode to episode, but, you know, basically, where the first season first started and to where it ends, we'll see how the numbers are at the last edition of this podcast.
Yeah. If you could follow that, I'll give you $5. But yeah, I understand what you mean.
Yes. Let me get to the other numbers. I'm going to discuss the numbers for Totem Wolf and Bearheart podcast. This has been the success. Actually, you know.
Go ahead, say it.
Actually, you know, we've been losing. Well,
go ahead.
It's difficult.
Go ahead, say it.
Episode 6, Phase 4.
Mr. Darwin, come into my parlor, said the spider to the fly.
Actually, we were losing viewers with the chaplain material.
You know which viewer you lost? Definitely lost? Me. I was the first viewer. I was the first viewer you lost. Craplin is more like it.
Oh, that was, Fun Wolf was telling me that was a shit show.
Yeah, listen, I understand he's a great cinematic master, but it does not hold up.
No, I mean, we were doing better the first season where we're going over cartoons and going over YouTube videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where we were like traveling, where Toad Wolf was traveling. But then we started out strong. We had the change in Wolf, the change in Totem Wolf. That was a strong episode. That had 6 downloads. And then the numbers started to tank.
Mr. Darwin, there's a chair right for you over there. That's a very large hammer you have today, sir. And may I say, your beard is very enviable.
We have to say that you liked the stuff we first did in the first season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that Mr. Darwin has to swing his hammer, but he sure is thinking about it.
Which means Totem Wolf has got to be Totem Wolf. Well, let's just see how the numbers do next season. The contract got signed. If if numbers aren't there, we might have to pull the plug on
Mr. Darwin and his beautiful hammer may have to leave a deep impression.
Yes.
This is the way it is, folks. This is the law of the ages. I don't know what this is, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, as much as Totem Wolf is, I don't know, it's like, I don't know what Totem Wolf, he started out strong and then the losing numbers, I don't know.
Well, it's a good thing we're going over these things so that evolution can work its magic.
Yes. Deletion.
That's right.
Now let's do yesterday's news.
Now, how are those numbers? Should I be worried? Mr. Darwin's still in here. Maybe I'm not safe.
Well, yesterday's news, episode 3, season 1, downloads is 7. That was a good episode. Then it wasn't doing too good, but we're going to give it the exposure that it needs. It's just like...
It may need to have its brains exposed by the hammer.
Yesterday's news, episode 6, had 6 downloads. So, we're having... It's not the best show on the network, but it's solid.
But it's not the worst show on the network.
It's not the best, but it's not the worst.
I'd like to see it compared with the other numbers.
Yeah, we could do that right now.
I'm assuming you're reading them in order of which one is the best, right?
Yeah,
because then you should have read the worst one last. But it doesn't seem like that happened. What order are you reading them in exactly?
You know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to open up small windows on the page. And I'm going to compare.
I mean, that's what R&D is, so that's probably for the best.
I'm going to compare these numbers. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. I mean, compared to the others, it's in between.
Interesting.
Yes.
And by interesting, I mean bewildering. But anyway, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Mr. Darwin's got a hammer for us all, really. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, but I enjoyed doing yesterday's news. Or go after that.
We know what you mean. And we also know that I'm sure that there's a lot more of that show. I mean, look, Joe Vector, I can't imagine throwing him in the gutter. You know, we got to give him a little bit more wingspan. Especially if, we're letting all these other things get by.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't know if that made any sense, but you know what I mean.
So, let's run down the numbers. Just by your observation of...
Run them down? Let's talk.
Just by your observation of what you heard, what has been the best show on the brand? On the network? I'm not overly that sure. I mean, I thought that the ones that were mentioned at the beginning seemed to have high numbers. I mean, it sounded like Ricky and Wolfman was real high. It sounded like when you were going over some of the Spiritus Holographica and Journal of the Dreamscape, they sounded all right. Yeah. I was very surprised to hear about yesterday's news numbers being as low. I mean, the idea that there's any mediocrity at all in that show is kind of surprising to me. Yeah, it's I was surprised at yesterday's news. I thought it would be a little bit better, and it didn't meet. It's not where I want the show to be. Well, I guess we got to start considering the kind of stories we take. Maybe people aren't interested in donkeys and doggies and bears and stuff. Maybe we should start, going after politicians and industries. Who knows? Maybe we should do corporate stories. You should probably put a little note on the Joseph Evaldi Network Facebook page, folks, if you have any suggestions about that. Yeah. Because I thought we were doing swell, but Joseph Evaldi basically says we're 1 inch away from Gutterland, so... Yeah. Mr. Darwin went to go get himself a Coca-Cola, but he's bound to be back any day now, so... Yeah. This is the Joseph Evaldi Podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Evaldi, and I'm going to give a quick plug to Audible Trial. Go to www.audibletrial.com/Joseph Evaldi Network for the latest audiobooks from either James Patterson, Harlan Coben, Dean Koontz, or other of your favorite authors, even including Joseph Evaldi. You're currently listening to Chariots of the Gods by the Thomas Sound Orchestra. In case you're wondering. And also so they don't swing a hatchet at us. So this has been an episode just like the previous one, dedicated to R&D for the Joseph Evaldi Network. And we're trying to show you that we're very interested in this programs, and we're trying to get the best material. And originally I was just here fooling around, but at this point, I think I've learned a lot about the podcasting process and about how Joseph Evaldi views it. And I think we're able to overview these things, and who knows what will come of it. I'm hoping better and better programs. Right? Right. Well, actually, we were discussing in the studio, in the Okinawa studio recently, of maybe having a special R&D show for Joseph Evaldi Network and the Joseph Evaldi brand.
Yeah, we'll see how this rolls over first, but it could be. I mean, it's not that bad going over this stuff, and it's a process. I mean, it's good. I can tell, go home to my brother Ricky and tell him what I heard, and it's just going over the process is never a problem. Obsession is a virtue. That's what my brother Ricky said.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's no real problem.
Yeah, I mean, I like to discuss the show with my audiobooks, my Kindle books, the network numbers, the YouTube numbers, the blogging numbers. It's like I've got a lot on the brand and a lot needs to be discussed.
A lot of fire in the irons, you know what I mean?
I mean, maybe I'm thinking if one of these shows doesn't work out and the numbers aren't there for it, I think one show might be ready to take its place.
That's right, folks. We let evolution swing its hammer around here, folks.
Yeah. Exactly.
You have been listening to the Joseph Evaldi Podcast on the Joseph Evaldi Network. I'm Curtis Bearheart. I'm from another network called the Okonoff Network, also on Spreaker.com. I'm here to tell you about some shows from there. One show is Warrior Greenwich Podcast, which is a virtual fountainhead of occult knowledge and some secrets and talk of spirituality and mystery. It's actually quite pleasant to listen to. Check that out on Spreaker.com. Another show is Quantum Posy on the Okonoff Network, where Twilight Cricket reads poetry, the poetry of Richard Andrew Olcott, as well as some famous poets. And you also have the ability to listen to the spoken word album, The Machinations of the Cybernetic Phantom God. Ooh, that's a mouthful. It's old school, folks. It's from 2004. It's a pretty wild ride, pretty creepy. Check it out. The Okonoff Network, a creative baptism for every day. Spreaker.com, type in Richard Andrew Olcott into Amazon Kindle for the books that are up there. And we're going to get paperback up sooner or later, folks. Little bit of a snag with the audiobook project, I'm not going to lie, but any help with that would be greatly appreciated from our faithful audience.
This is Joseph Evaldi and the Joseph Evaldi Network. I am going to plug Audible Trial. www.audibletrial.com/Joseph Evaldi Network. Go there, you find the latest audiobooks. Also, I am going to plug another audiobook that you could go to the same website and type it in. It's A Soul Warrior's Journey. That is a book written by Joseph Evaldi and narrated by Andrew Garrett. Very good stuff in the book. It has past life regression. It has Journey to Egypt. It has adventure. Very good audiobook to listen to. And also, The Evolution of the Square Circle, the production of professional wrestling. It's also on there, and much more. So, check out audibletrial.com/the Joseph Evaldi Network, and check out some of my books that would be on.
Well, that was another episode. The stars have misaligned, so we'll have to pull the plug a little early, folks.
Let's just do a final summary. Just to wrap things up.
And how exactly did you want to do that, sir?
I was surprised by the numbers of I was surprised by the numbers of the Journal to the Dreamscape. I didn't expect that to get that many downloads. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, I gotta tell you, dreams are mysterious, man. And anytime you belly up to that bar, you're bound to get something interesting, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Spiritus Holographica, I was expecting those kind of numbers.
It's like a cosmic thing, you know, like I hear Ricky talk about it. If you see some synchronistic thing in a dream where it's like, wow, that's beyond coincidence. Like, I remember that episode where you guys read The Famous Dream, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's very good, solid stuff. Like, also, another one, episodes. Also, Slow Mo Joe's Timeless Poetry Show, you know, that's another solid show that I was surprised with the numbers with.
I think our poetry is, the poetry from both of you guys, from my brother Ricky, from you. I think people are really, really warming up to that.
Ricky and Wolfman, that show, it's solid numbers. So it's a good show for the brand.
Yep. So that about sums up our greatest content, right?
Yesterday's news, I was happy with the content. Like, I thought it deserved better ratings than it did.
Yeah, you're saying it's mediocre. That's strange and mysterious.
I don't know how, but, I feel like we need to raise the bar with that show.
We're probably going to have to do a little experimenting.
Yeah.
Well, that's a subject for another R&D day.
However, the last show, Totem Wolf and Bearheart,
why is it both shows I'm on are tanking?
I don't know.
I'm getting nervous, man. I'm telling you. Originally I thought he was coming for Totem Wolf. I think he might be coming for me, Mr. Darwin. I better stop eating cookies too hard, or it's going to be over.
No. Totem Wolf is
a statistic.
I think it's Totem Wolf. It's like either it's the material we're watching, or it's Totem Wolf not being his old self, or I don't know what the deal. It's like he went crazy and was in the bookshelf, and like next thing you know,
he was up on top of that bookshelf all night. We tried luring him down with a cheesesteak and everything, and he wasn't having it. I got to cause me many anxious moments. I'm not gonna lie.
So we renewed it for another season, but if that's not kicking in, we might get the.
That's right. Man, Mr. Darwin's giant hammer of you're over now.
So
you've heard of Mjolnir. This is you're over.
We went through the brand. Basically, Totem Wolf might be on the cutting block. So
you see, wishes do come true after all. Will you wish upon a star?
But if that show got canceled.
Poor fella.
I hope for it. I would have liked you to do an R&D show with me, Joseph Evaldi.
Okay, well, maybe. That doesn't sound so bad.
I think it wasn't you, Kurt. I think it was Totem Wolf.
You might be right about that. In fact, I'm insisting that you are. But beyond that point, though, you have to realize it's going to matter about this show.
Yeah.
These last 2 episodes we've done. What if this underperforms?
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to start panhandling for my pizza on that day.
We'll see. We'll see how these 2 episodes do.
That's gonna be a huge to do with it. That's the Access Monday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
I can't. Hey, listen, I can't ride through here like Sir Galahad with a favor on my lance until I actually, prove the pudding. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I'm surprised. Like, it remains to be seen how the other episodes do. Let's just see. Let's see how the next season does. But if not,
well, we could see that some of them might be going in the deep fryer, but we may have some exceptions. What if there's a good episode? You never know.
You never know, but this is a network, and time is precious.
It certainly is. Yours and mine, and our audiences.
Time is precious, the audience and ours and everyone. And we want to give the best product we can, but if something's not working, we've got to cut it.
Well, I think this has been a very successful episode of the Joseph Evaldi Podcast, and I thank you for having me on. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I should have thanked you last time, but I was apparently thankless.
Okay. Well, thank you for being on the episode.
Yep. All right, folks.
Have a good night. This is the Joseph Evaldi Podcast.
On the Joseph Evaldi Network.
We stand tall despite defeat.
Yep. Despite an expired pizza, we will stand as tall as the Liberty Tower.
How to move my pizza defeat.
Yes. Yes, he might. No, I like him. He's good. See you later, folks.